12% a month?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Crypto trading is volatile and it is high risk. We'll say, yeah, that's actually a good investment. Oh my gosh. And I sold everything. We created the crypto fund where investors don't need to think about it. We do something very unique that other people don't really do.
What happens like when the market goes up or goes down?
It doesn't matter. We don't just want any investor to invest. We're very particular on who we want to work with, what's the best.
My daughter is earning 1% a day now.
Wow. Insane amount of gains that I can't really talk about.
Welcome everyone. I'm Sardor Umrdinov, founder of Home Alliance and Group of Companies. We are a $100 million home service tech platform. Today I'm going to be having a conversation with my guest, Jason Lee.
Hi, my name is Jason Lee. I'm an entrepreneur and a fund manager for a fund of funds, 506c Reg D fund. We primarily invest into crypto funds and crypto companies.
Jason is entrepreneur, investor, successful business owner of Airbnb property management, and now he's actually moved into fund of funds, investing in crypto funds, and we're going to be discussing a lot about blockchain, AI, crypto funds. It's going to be really fun. Continue watching. Jason, great to have you here. Let's jump right in.
All right.
Tell me your story.
I was born and raised here in Los Angeles, California, and Korean American. And parents were from Korea. They came around 87, around that time. Yeah, they started from scratch, and I'm the only child. Parents divorced when I was 3, so my dad took care of me as a single father. I'm the only child, and so, later on, he remarried when I got into high school. I got 2 step twin sisters. For me, it was always about family. I think that's what I really wanted, because growing up, I didn't really have a place to call home or a family. Mm-hmm. I just didn't really care about school. Would ditch school to hang out with these gangster friends, but to me, they were like family. That's why I hung out with them. High school, my GPA was pretty bad. It was 2.3. Wasn't a great example during that time. But after high school, I saw that there was a second chance. My aunt, on a Sunday, when I wanted to play World of Warcraft, I was a pretty heavy gamer back then. She's like, you better go to church. I'm like, no, I don't want to go to church. I want to play games. And she was a really good salesperson that she kind of forced me almost to go to church. And my life just changed, because this church, when I went there, I felt like this was a true family. After I got radically transformed by becoming a Christian, a believer in the church, I literally went on cloud 9, which is why I transferred 1 year from Glendale Community College to go to Biola University. It's a private Christian school. After graduating, however, it was one of the hardest seasons of my life, because Biola being a Christian school, it was a bubble. So everyone there is so nice. But the moment I went into the real world, in the workforce, oh man, you run into so many different types of people. Some of them are like sharks. And I was not prepared for that. And, what got me started in my business journey was when my first job, I worked at sales as a T-Mobile salesperson in Koreatown. Mm-hmm. And most of my customers were Koreans. And I was teaching grandmas how to use their phone and their smartphones during that time. During the time as I was working, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was one of my favorite books that got me started on my journey. Read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. One of my role models was Tony Robbins. Really deep into it, reading his books, listening to some of his teachings on YouTube. I did that for a good amount of years, when I was like, okay, I think I need to finally put what I read and what I learned to action. I quit my job. I started living in a garage.
Do you already had a plan?
I didn't have a plan. I was just going to go right in. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to drive Uber on the side while I start cold calling a bunch of homeowners. My first business idea was to do Airbnb management before Airbnb blew up. I knew that people were making 2 times more than the average rent. And so I would just go on Zillow or Craigslist and find homeowners that were saying, okay, $2,000 for 2-bedroom in Venice Beach. Back then it was a lot cheaper, but I realized, I could make him $4,000 or $5,000. So I'd call them saying, hey, do you know what Airbnb is? Most of them didn't. How are you going to do it? And as I went through the process, I got my first 3 clients, and it was actually really difficult. It wasn't easy. There's so many things involved in Airbnb where you got to deal with people's emotions. You got to get the right cleaners to the right.
So you didn't learn somewhere. You actually came up with it on the go because you
Yeah.
just knew the difference of arbitrage,
Correct.
the
Yeah.
rent versus Airbnb, correct?
Yeah, I just went with it. Looking back, part of me wishes that I had a mentor.
Yeah.
It would have saved me a lot of headache because, I remember I quit one time and then I got back into it and then I wanted to quit again. Every time I wanted to quit, I just started getting more leads, more clients. I'm like, there's got to be a demand here. So I just stuck with it. Eventually, when it grew to like 30 properties, that's when I was able to be like, oh, wow, like it's finally working. But from there, it was getting difficult as well because I didn't know how to scale. And some of the people that I tried to partner with, they weren't the right fit. Some of them actually stole money from me. Employees tried to steal clients. And there's just not a lot of, I guess you call it integrity and ethics.
Yeah.
And I went through a lot of hardships. I guess the best decision I made was to find someone trustworthy, a business partner that I can delegate to handle a lot of the operations. This business partner of mine really helped us to scale to the next level.
So I believe you have a business partner who does the day-to-day operations, right? Operator.
Correct.
And how many customers you guys have now?
Client-wise, we have like about 50 to 60 clients, but property-wise, we have 180.
180 properties you guys manage, right? Investing is not about money. It's about vision, partnership. It's about value. If you like to become a top-tier entrepreneur, subscribe and continue watching this video. What is the average rent on those properties?
They're all different because some are like 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom studios. Some are luxury 4-bedrooms. Some are apartment complexes. So if we're to get an average, I guess you can say like, I don't know, $5,000 to $8,000 a month is the average. Right now, we're focused more on luxury because it's generating like almost $18,000 to $30,000 every month.
How your organization structure?
My business partner is the operation manager. So he created the whole SOP, standard operating procedure.
How you became partner?
I got introduced to him through my business partner right now in my crypto fund that I'm doing. And so his name is Jonathan. So Jonathan introduced me to his friend, Brendan, that he's known since he was like in middle school.
So you already knew about partnerships, like how you came to the partnership.
I've always wanted a good partner.
Yeah. You didn't want to do it yourself?
Yeah, I didn't want to do it myself. And, I told him, you can be an employee in the beginning. If you can learn everything and take over everything that I know, I will give you equity into the company. And so that's exactly what he did. He worked like...
So you basically convert from employee to the equity.
Yeah.
So now you guys, have 50-50?
He's 40 and I am 60.
Got it.
And he was working like 12 hours every single day, Monday through Sunday.
Yeah.
Didn't take a break. Freed up a lot of my time, which allowed me to do other things. So I'm very grateful and I'm very happy and grateful for Brendan coming into my life.
What do you think is going to happen to the Airbnb industry?
When I first started, it was amazing. Not a lot of competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a lot of competition. There was zero regulation back then.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of regulations within every city. I mean, some cities are not regulated yet, but it's become a lot harder. With cities cracking down and making it harder for people to manage properties on Airbnb. Which is interesting because, we have the Olympics coming up and all the hotels are not going to be able to fill it up. So it's like, hey, man, like we need these homes.
Probably a Pacific Palisade also affected some, right?
Correct. Yeah. And that was, I guess, one of the only times where I felt, wow, this business is actually bringing value and help to people. Because just knowing myself, like I just cannot do a business or work if I feel like there isn't a purpose or a vision behind it. For me, I was like back then, man, like I'm helping owners who already have a lot of money make more money. or I'm creating an experience for guests to come. That just wasn't really like,
Not
didn't
enough.
really, touch my heart
Yeah.
as much or excite me as much. But that's why I say, going back to the whole fire incident, I realized, whoa, I'm kind of glad that I had a lot of these properties, because through my network, I have a large network right now, almost 1,000 people that are in business. And those guys were very active, sending people that they knew that needed a place to stay
Yeah.
because their home burned down or they needed to relocate. And so I was able to help families get midterm or long-term rental properties. And so I guess moving forward, we are transitioning some of our homes right now to more midterm and to more long-term strategy, but also having a hybrid of short-term.
And how many, in order to run that kind of operation with 180 properties, you have your partner, Brandon, and how many assistants or like cleaners, handymen, I don't know, what else you do need to have in structure?
Yeah, right now we have about like 50 cleaners, 10 handymen. We have a designer, we have a photographer, a local assistant, we have my business partner, and about 7 VAs.
What is the expenses and what is the profitability on the business normally?
A lot of the expense goes to, I mean, the cleaners are, more like 1099, we outsource. And obviously with Airbnb, we can charge the cleaning fee to the guests. So we use a lot of that to pay the cleaners.
And how much does cleaning cost? Like 120?
Boy, I believe we spend 120,000 a month on cleaning right now.
120,000
Yeah.
for cleaning.
Then with our workers, employees, roughly about 20 to 24,000 every month.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what is your net profit then, percentage-wise?
Percentage-wise, I believe we're at like maybe 15 to 20%.
Is there any big companies in US like who's doing the similar things?
Yeah. I would say like Avant Stay is one of them.
Yeah.
The biggest is Vacasa. They have like 30,000 plus homes under management.
But how they are dealing with local licensing and permit things at the moment?
Well, a lot of these guys, their majority of their homes are in other states.
So only LA has that problem?
Well, LA, you can get permits as long as they're not, rent controlled. If you're a rent controlled home, which a lot of homes in LA are rent controlled, you cannot get a permit. So a lot of our homes are like single family homes or brand new construction, where we can pull permits through the owner's information. And with the permits, we're, able to operate here in Los Angeles. So we just made it our, priority to just get more homes with permits, or, find, homeowners that are trying to do Airbnb, but they can't, or maybe they have a bad manager.
Yeah.
So we want to come in and to be able to help, because I would say that our level of operations is a little bit more detailed than a big company like Vacasa.
Yeah.
We did have, some clients say, hey, we use Vacasa. It's just, they don't really pay attention to us. I mean, because they have a lot of homes. The cool thing about like Brendan is that he would personally even go to some of these houses and spend time with these owners. And so he gives a lot of attention to detail.
Let's say if I want to give out my house to Airbnb and actually buy another house or move, what the unit economy is going to look like?
Well, the first question I would ask you is, is it rent controlled or not? And if it's not, then I will pull up data using a third-party software.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Rent-A-Meter or like CoStar. And I can find out how much, like within a 3 to 5 mile radius of your competitors, how much they're making. If it generates a decent amount, then I would say, hey, this might actually be a good opportunity.
Got it.
However, to be honest, I haven't been seeing too many homes out there that are worth it, especially with the home prices right now. It's just crazy. Interest rates are crazy right now.
Yeah.
And so I think even the long-term rental market is struggling too, because, if you have a long-term renter, how are they going to pay for the mortgage? Things are shifting right now. And I don't know what it's going to look like with the economy.
As the economy is affecting?
Yeah, it is. You could definitely see that, some management companies lost about 30% of their portfolio or their revenue. So that's why right now we have to do our due diligence to see, okay, that's a good area. Like that's the purchase price of the home. And I like to look at the cap rate. And if the cap rate is about 8 to 12% at least, then we'll say, yeah, that's actually a good investment. That's why we don't just take in any clients. Yeah.
Got it. So basically you have to first, in order to actually evaluate my house, you have to check the address, if the house is, if it makes financial sense or not.
Correct.
And I believe your shift is switching to more to what, funds, right?
Correct. Yes. That is my passion project. I like it better because the people there are more relational and intentional.
Yeah, because I also go for the group.
I love it. I love family and community. Yeah. You know, for me, I always want to diversify and see what the next opportunity is, because I want to see what can last long and what can actually, you know, bring generational change and, you know, legacy transformation. And that's why I partnered up with my friend Jonathan to start pretty much a fund of funds that invests into crypto funds.
What is a fund of funds for the people who don't understand?
Yeah, so a fund of funds is, you can just think of it this way. Like, you guys might have done fantasy football or fantasy basketball, and you want to choose the best players, but you're not going to be the basketball player or the football player. Like a traditional fund, you know, they're the ones that are doing the trades, buying the stocks, and doing the operational work. Our job is to find the all-star team in the crypto space to see who's the best of the best.
But the fund is all crypto, or you guys invest in other verticals as other funds as well?
Right now, the primary focus is crypto. However, we are implementing other deals there, which is the beauty of our fund of funds. And each of them, they will have to sign a deal disclosure. One of the ones that we are implementing, it's through another, you know, fund or company that collects judgments, and they have a law firm that, you know, goes after the judgments, and so they need investment money.
So basically, your fund of fund invests capital to the crypto funds, right?
Correct. So we will invest the funds into, you know, they have a manual trader. Yeah. That manual trader is doing futures, doing shorting and longing, leveraging maybe like 50x leverage, and also spot trading as well. And so there's different strategies that.
What do you think is going to happen to economy with new administration, like in the crypto? I mean,
you know,
next
with Trump being president, it looks like things are getting better. Yeah. In the crypto space, we see traditional finance people like BlackRock coming in right now. Yeah. You have banks even coming in. I believe JP Morgan said it recently, saying the next digital gold is Bitcoin. Yeah. Because traditional finance people are coming into the crypto space, I believe it's becoming a more legitimate.
I think they won't even do a Federal Reserve or something on the crypto, right?
Yeah. So it's beautiful seeing that. So I do see that this is a great opportunity.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I got in when Bitcoin was only like $200 back then, when I was working my 9 to 5. And I heard this, you know, this voice in my head, my conscience saying, hey, every month with your paycheck, just put $200. I just didn't listen to it. I believe I had like what? I don't know, like 20 Bitcoin. Yeah. You know, back then, because it was cheap back then. And then when Bitcoin shot up to like $5,000, I was like, oh my gosh. And I sold everything. I just didn't know back then of like holding on or dollar cost average. And so I was like, dang, but I was young back then. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I bought a Bitcoin, I think when it was 16. Yeah. And I sold it when it was 88. And lost like I don't remember, 50 or 75,000. I bought it. For the huge amount, and I said, you know what, it's not for me. Yeah, I need peace. Like, I don't want to think about like volatility of the crypto, because I want to focus on business. And from that time, and I even went to mining. Actually, I bought video cards and tried to mine as well.
Yeah, I understand. That's why like we created the crypto fund where investors don't need to think about it, and we do something very unique that other people don't really do.
Yeah, what those funds average they giving it average per year?
Yeah, so right now we've been hitting about 12% every month right now.
12% a month?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
It's how much is it per year then?
Well, if you compound it, then, it's going to add up to a lot. It could be like 150%, 144 to be exact.
Wow.
But then I'm talking about compounding as well. So if you compound it,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's gonna add up
It's like
to
150%.
maybe even more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the math on top of my head with compounding. Right now we do like 70 days contract for that. So after 70 days, their principal and the profits go back to them, and they can decide what they want to do. Do they want to compound everything? Some people pull out some of the profits, and so from there they can decide what they want to do. If you want to get more information about the crypto fund and the fund of funds, you can visit us at legacyblock.xyz or email us at jasonlee@legacyblock.xyz.
What happens like when the market goes up or goes down?
Good question. It doesn't matter because
And you're trading on all cryptos or
just Bitcoin.
just
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
Bitcoin? Got it.
Bitcoin, because it's the most predictable and the most volatile. For us, the trader has to see that Bitcoin is volatile. So it's better for us if it's going up and down, like really fast, because that's where you can make the most amount of money. So if it goes down, he can do a strategy of shorting.
Yeah.
And so he can make money off the shorting. If it goes up, he can long it. And so it really doesn't matter if it goes up or down. It's just a matter of our trading strategy and how to implement the shorting and the longing. So we do futures trading, that's what you call it. And then spot trading is the other thing, where we, if Bitcoin goes down, we'll buy Bitcoin and then we'll wait till it goes up and we'll sell it. That's spot trading.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
What is the minimum investment in your fund of funds?
Minimum is 100K
100K?
for that deal.
Yeah.
And then right now the maximum we have for our fund is about 100 million.
But it's not from one investor. You mean total?
Yeah, and we can only take about 100 investors total.
And it's all legit. It's all like controlled by SEC.
Yes, so we are a 506 C fund, so we're Reg D, and so we can publicly solicit only to accredited investors, and we're not brokers, we're not dealers, we're not your financial advisors. And so people would have to get their own,
Right.
tax attorney or lawyers. So, we don't just want any investor to invest. We're very particular on who we want to work with.
You have some reserves buffer.
Yeah. So our fund of funds right now, we have an 87-page long PPM. It's a pretty long contract. It states that we have a treasury that 10% of the gross profit from, these other funds that we invest into, let's just say they made, I don't know what, $100,000.
Yeah.
We'll take 10% and put it into a treasury.
Mm-hmm.
And then that treasury is there so that it can buffer all of our investors in case something ever does happen.
Right.
And the cool thing is the manual trader crypto fund or the company, they also have a buffer. They set aside X amount of USDT. It's a stable coin. So it doesn't matter if Bitcoin goes up or down. It's 1-to-1 with the US dollar. So basically, it being 1-to-1, as long as the US dollar doesn't crash, then it'll still remain stable.
USD, I got it. You're right.
So USDT, they have a decent amount of money set aside to, buffer people's principles just in case something happens. That's why it's a little different than what I've seen like other traders do out there. And it gives you a peace of mind because, crypto trading is volatile and it is high risk if you don't know what you're doing. So
if you compare the hedge funds, the private equity funds, the real estate funds, venture funds, fund of funds, what differences you see and the current economic situations for next 4 years during new administration, what do you think is going to happen?
For us, we're a fund of funds. The beauty of it is that we do our due diligence to find which fund or company to invest into. So that allows us to not really do the day-to-day operations because a hedge fund would be more of the ones doing the trades because you would need a license to trade for other people. So the hedge fund would do that. So we're not really a hedge fund. That's why we chose the fund route, and actually fits our personality type a lot better because we want to be hands off and to be able to find the right deals, the best deals, and to just plug in the investment money into these different vehicles. So that's the beauty of the fund of funds, is that, you know, if the market changes, our job is to do our research and due diligence to find what's the best. And so we always want to find something that's low risk but high reward as well too.
Yeah.
Because back in the past, man, we did some high risk, high reward ones, and it was very difficult. And we learned the hard way. And there were some angry people, and we weren't structured back then. We didn't know how to create a fund. We just had a really difficult time. And so I'm glad that that was the cost of our education.
Oh, I remember the story.
Yeah, yeah. It's a painful story, but back then for us, we you know, didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And we got into the wrong investments. And some of them were scams, or some of them didn't know how to trade, and it was just really bad. That's why for us, we're like, okay, like data is something that we look for now. How many years have they been doing it? Do they have audits? Who are the people behind it? And so now we want to be able to have full transparency and proximity to these companies and funds that we're working with. Back then, we didn't even know who the trader was. We've never met the person, or we've never met like the company themselves. So it was just our lack of knowledge back then and lack of due diligence. But, you know, thank God, like, you know, we were able to learn from our mistakes, and now everything is by the books.
Yeah.
Do
you trade yourself?
Yes, I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not that good. It's pretty difficult because my emotions will get in the way. And I think a good trader knows how to be somehow robotic in his nature. And I think when emotions get in the way, you make bad trades. That's why, you know, there are people who do demo accounts. It's not their real money, and they actually do a lot better. But then when they put the real money on the line, they're like, oh man, I can't make the same returns.
And you trade on the stock market, or you trade on crypto?
Crypto. I trade myself. I do shorting and longing as well. But just not a lot of money. I just try to like practice here and there, but you know, not as good as the trader from the crypto fund. So
my daughter is earning 1% a day now.
Wow. Doing stocks, options?
No. She gave me $400,
Yeah.
and I give her back.
Yeah.
It's actually, it became 500 now.
Yeah.
It was like every day it was adding $4. It became like
Yeah.
500 now.
Wow.
So now it is growing up 505, like in the
Wow.
daily basis. I'm just teaching her compounding effect.
So you're like a super high yield savings account pretty much. That,
But she kind of goes every day to that calendar. She basically marks that off.
yeah.
And actually one day
Wow.
she came to me, is like, Dad, are you sure you're not lying to me? Like, says, no, here's like, can I touch the money? Like,
Yeah.
I give her like that $400 or $500, like
Yeah.
go here. And
Yeah.
she played with it, and she came back to me, like, I want to put it back. Says, are you sure you can sleep on it if you
Yeah.
want to?
Yeah.
But you're not going to earn money.
Yeah.
Says, no, I want to earn money, keep it.
Wow, that's a really cool lesson. I got to use that for my child too. Interesting, because I just saw one of my part of a group called Go Abundance here, and they have some awesome people, and they're just more than about making money. They're holistic family, health, and friendships. To, you know, they call it like 5 pillars of wealth. And I think some people are wealthy in just money, but they're not wealthy with their family. And I just remember seeing a video just recently from one of, we call them Go Bros. He showed a video clip of taking his son to like a airsoft gun place. So he bought a bunch of airsoft guns, and the father was trying to teach him that spending money is not just for yourself, but for generosity. And you invest into your friends. So his son bought some of the airsoft stuff and gave it to his friends to invest into their experience and their relationship. And he was teaching his son that investment is also investing into people in your life, bringing value to them, and it pays long term. Who you know is, the most important thing, and the relationship you foster.
Can you tell me about the challenges of raising capital for the fund of funds?
Yeah, I think some of the challenges that I faced when it came to raising capital, I mean, this was back then. I try to like reach out to people and pitch. That's pitch a deal. Which is why I like my mastermind group. They have a new policy. It's called the no pitching policy. When I first heard it, I'm like, what? How are you supposed to like, share about your deal? And, I was able to learn that you really don't have to go out there pitching your deals to people. Because when you do that, you're just trying to gain another dollar from the other person. You're just coming from the approach where you want something from them. I really don't do that anymore. And I saw that just sharing my story and what I do brings people to be interested. And I just share, oh, if you're interested, we can, share about what we do.
Yeah.
A lot of times that just comes naturally by me just spending time and building relationships. So I spend a lot of time like getting lunch, getting dinner, going to Russian saunas and stuff. And just that's the majority of my week. It's just literally spending time with people and not just talking about what I know or what I do, but like one of my core values is to find out what is the other person's vision, what is their value, and how can I help them as well. And so if there is a synergy and synchronicity within, if we could potentially go together, then I'm like, ooh, this guy might be a potential good fit.
Right.
And sometimes I could feel it. I'm like, oh, this person's interested. Hey, why not? Like, let's go together. So I really don't just go out like trying to pitch deals anymore.
Yeah.
I just try to find out like who they are, what they want.
Yeah.
And if we can go towards a bigger vision together. And that's helped tremendously.
So what do you think about the future of alternative coins? Like with the blockchain, AI?
AI is a very interesting topic because AI is able to collect data faster than a human being.
Yeah.
But also, while collecting data, they're able to execute a plan a lot faster than a human being. So it's definitely going to save a lot more time, bring more efficiency. We're already utilizing AI right now in the crypto space, utilizing AI arbitrage, just collecting the spread of the coins. Back then, like 2016, we called it the kimchi premium. Like the Koreans would buy Bitcoin in the US exchange and then send it to a Korean exchange, and there's a spread. The price of the Bitcoin is, a little different, but you're able to arbitrage that. But we weren't using AI back then. It was just a human being doing that. Now with AI, we're able to do that a lot faster. And it's been a world changer, bringing insane amount of gains that I can't really talk about because, traditional finance people don't believe it. And it is an insane amount.
What kind of numbers are they?
Depends on how much margin you put. But I've seen someone put $1 million and he transformed it into $18 million.
And what period of time?
8 months.
8 months.
Yeah. Obviously, you can't really do that with a larger amount of capital because there's a law of diminishing return. So it's easier to do it with a smaller amount. So, once it gets bigger and bigger, can't do it until more and more people get into crypto. So that there's more liquidity, which is pretty cool because, there's only about 5% from what I heard in the US of people actually utilizing crypto. That's a very small amount. I believe when more and more people all around the world start utilizing it, then the liquidity is going to be there. Right now, all the big players like BlackRock, traditional finance people, banks, institutions are getting into it.
Because value is there, right? Like, because when you're transferring, the fee is not that high, liquidity is there. Like, as a value, as a currency, it's better than any other currency out there.
There's going to be less and less Bitcoin every single time they have it. The supply is going to go smaller and smaller. So it's not like you can just print cash like all the time and then inflation happens. So it's a lot better in my opinion. And, someone like Michael Saylor believes that, I don't know, it was like 20 years from now, he thinks that every Bitcoin you're missing, you're losing out on $14 million. That's what he thinks. And who knows, it may happen. So you're not too late getting into the game if what he's saying is true. So
Probably the best way is just invest in fund of funds.
yeah, and more from what I heard is that traditional finance people are going into the alternative investment space because they're seeing that there are higher returns, more so than like real estate or, you know, stocks and bonds. So they're like slowly coming into the alternative space. Because the times are changing.
I see some governments also have that, right? Like I think the Salvador has it, like Ukraine, US.
Yeah. And Russia too. And Trump with his, you know, treasury and the crypto space that he's getting into. He created a crypto coin. Yeah, everything's eventually going to all have to go digital. And I mean, it's already digital. Back then, like we were, you know, sending cash and checks to each other. But now, like, when was the last time, like, some of the people that we know would physically go to the bank themselves? We do everything online already. It's only going to get better with like, you know, cryptocurrency and AI coming into play. And I believe the beauty of AI is that it's able to detect fraud and, you know, see if something is wrong within the data faster than a human being. So it's going to be able to help control and regulate the space in a efficient way.
Can you share about like personal efficiency, how you manage your time, how do you manage funds, and how do you manage relationships?
To be honest, right now I just got a newborn. She's a 4 months right now, my daughter, and the majority of my time goes to my daughter and my wife.
That's a luxury to have.
It is a luxury. That's the beauty of the fund of funds. It like frees up a lot of time and creates, you know, cash flow. For me, I structure it around like, you know, when do I need to take care of my daughter? So me and my wife, once a week, we would write in our calendar what we're doing in that week. And if there's an opening, I would find a time to get on either Zoom calls, get lunch or dinner with someone from my, you know, Go Abundance group or someone in a network meeting or a meetup. And I'll spend majority of my week just building relationships. And so that's how I structure it. It's very free flowing. It's not like some other people and that have their own business and operation heavy. Or maybe someone like yourself where I looked at your calendar, it's like Art of War in the morning and then boom, 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 boom. Like I gotta get on a Zoom call and it's just packed. No, mine's not like that. However,
I should learn from you. I should learn from you.
I'm saying the opposite. I feel like sometimes I should learn from you because I feel like systems do create more freedom. Back then, I didn't really like structure, but I'm very happy and grateful for my business partner and friend, Jonathan. He created a structure for me. It's called the 6 months goals / visions, utilizing the 6 F's. And so 6 F's is your faith, your friends, family, finance, your fun, and your fitness. I had a hard time structuring as a goal last time because I felt like, you know, let's just say one of my goals hit 10 million. It's just, okay, what are you going to do with it? But after talking with Jonathan, he said, okay, what would it look like and feel like for you when you hit 10 million?
Yeah.
Or what would it look like and feel like for you if you had a healthy body, amazing family, you had the most adventurous fun in your life? And so I structured all of that 6 months where I wrote a letter to myself, actually. Today is July 26, 2025. I achieved $10 million. And I'm so happy and grateful because I'm able to buy a house for my wife and my family. And all my friends are inspired by how much wealth I have. And I was able to generously give to a nonprofit organization, to my pastor, and support my mom and my family. And like, so I brought the emotion and the vision behind it. For friends in that category, I wrote like in the next 6 months, or today's July 26, 2025, I made 120 new connections that are successful people who are holistic in business, finance, and health, and every area of their lives.
Yeah.
And I already hit that goal.
Wow. That's good. Congratulations.
And joining the mastermind, I was able to achieve it a lot faster. But it just came naturally. And then within the 6 months, you do a 1 week goal as well. So each week with an accountability partner, we would just go over, hey, did you do this? Well, why didn't you do it? If you didn't do it, they'll be like, all right, like, we're going to keep you accountable. You're going to put $100 into the pot that us as a group are collectively going to use. So it's beautiful having, we call them Go Pods in our group. And it's like, I realize everyone needs a pod, like a killer whale pod.
Yeah.
Or a wolf pack. And back then I was like a lone wolf. But having a pod, like-minded people going towards the same vision is the most amazing thing. If things don't align in the 6F, then they're not priority for me.
Yeah, I have a similar board, but that board is kind of it's a family, health, fitness probably, right? Business, finance, learning, spirit, and hobby. Like probably is like similar way. And that's kind of a success is like for me is a freedom. Then I have to kind of put something a similar way.
Yeah.
Freedom, no regrets, proud, grateful, pure spirit, help more and be fulfilled, right? Like it's like you build a kind of a matrix and you put those things in sticky notes and kind of remove those.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What is your favorite book?
You know, I would say it has to be Ken Honda, Happy Money. You know, for me, I'm all about like friendship, relationship. And a lot of times I believe that people have the wrong relationship with money, that money can be a friend as well. Ken Honda talks about happy money because sometimes, like, you know, someone living paycheck to paycheck, they're like, dang, I have to give the landlord money for rent. So automatically his relationship with money is like a place of lack, of poverty, of like, versus, man, thank you so much, money, or thank you so much to the landlord that you've provided us for a place to stay. It can even be employees, like you're giving money to employees and they're like, wow, thank you so much. Or like the other way around, like me as the boss or employer would be like, no, thank you so much for your service. Like there's an attitude of appreciation. And that's the relationship that I've always wanted to have, is to not be afraid of money, which most people are. That's their fear. Because imagine if money is your friend and they knock on the door and you're afraid of that friend and you don't open it up. Then money won't come into your life. But if you're not afraid of it and you see it as a friend, you know, you can do a lot together. And the Bible says, you know, the love of money is the root of all evil. You don't have to love your friend. You can like your friend and be friends with them. And actually in the Bible, it actually says make friends with mammon. Jesus actually said that, which is so interesting. And a lot of people don't understand that concept. And I think Ken Honda really nails it down. He's like a life coach, and a lot of the people that pay him for his, you know, coaching are so happy. They're like, thank you so much, you changed my life.
If you like this video, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, and look forward to seeing you on the next episodes. Do you think Elon Musk and Trump are playing with crypto?
Oh yeah, they're most definitely, you know, playing with crypto for sure. I believe, I forgot where I saw it, they disclosed like some of the portfolio that Trump has. And so they've invested, you know, their own money as well into crypto. So, and
I think they moved so much money in crypto to Ukraine and back and forward. Probably is the...
Oh, you mean Trump and Elon, or
no,
just
previously?
Yeah, I mean, you know, some say that Ukraine is like the #1 money laundering, you know, country.
They support it just to money laundering purposes.
Yeah, and then now Trump is
splitting him up and like opening everything up,
deal,
right?
And trying to get his money back. And he's a true businessman, and a good negotiator. So I really like what he's doing.
I think hopefully the war is gonna end.
I really like it. You know, the ceasefire and him talking with Putin and finding ways. And it's so funny, like it all sounds like business to me at the end of the day too, because you know, Zelensky and also Putin was asking for guarantees. And even in the business world, people are asking for guarantees, but you cannot really give guarantees. Like, you know, there's no such thing as a guarantee. And I don't know if you can really give guarantees in an act of war or in a time of war either. But I do know that learning from business, you can bring historical records and data and track records to really help, you know, countries and people through integrity and through their words, what they say they will do. And so I've already seen like multiple times Trump said he will do this and he's just been doing it.
Been doing it,
Yeah,
correct.
taking action.
Yeah. Panama Canal, he
Yeah.
did it.
He's doing
I think the Greenland, at the first I
Yeah.
thought it's a joke. I think he's going to do it now.
He's doing everything.
Yeah.
So he really,
The Canada, I
Yeah.
think it's going to be the 51st
yeah,
state.
yeah. That's why I believe like,
Yeah.
you know, business can translate in politics and
Yeah.
in areas of life if
Yeah.
people understand the principles.
Yeah, I look at the Greenland, the GDP, it looks like it's 3.6 billion, and there are only like 56,000 population or something like that.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
They'll just annex it, I think. Because China has a huge interest to Greenland.
A lot of countries have interest. It makes
Yeah.
you wonder what's really there.
Yeah.
Yeah, conspiracy theories, you know, say that something is there, you know.
Right.
I believe that things can get accelerated, especially with technology accelerating so quickly right now. So, yeah,
No, definitely. Whoever is using the AI blockchain,
correct. Yep.
they have the power.
Yeah. OpenAI,
Yeah.
all those guys, DeepSeek in China. So it's like the gold rush, like back in the days. And now it's everyone's going after who can develop the best AI.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
integrate it, right? Or
Yeah.
integrate, use it.
Yeah, and funny enough, China used NVIDIA chips to create DeepSeek.
Yeah. One of the biggest one is the huge trade war between US and China.
Yeah, you know, China has a lot of people. Can you compete with all those people? Cheaper amount of cost, produce products better and faster than
Yeah, but I think
and
they have
cheaper.
more technology. They have the infrastructure to you can build
Yeah.
more advanced technologies there.
Yeah.
Like you don't have those like infrastructure here to build the same Apple.
Even like semiconductor is a huge one. I know that Trump was gonna bring the guy in Taiwan to was it Arizona?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because apparently with semiconductors you need a place with a big body of water. Like, but Arizona is like a big body of desert.
And I think they're already becoming really advanced on drones. I think shipbuilding
Yeah.
and rare earth minerals
Yep.
using.
Yeah.
And then semiconductors, like you just said. And in general, and the new technologies would be, it's a combination of two. It's like whatever you guys are doing on the fund of funds, you're using two separate technologies. You're using blockchain
Yeah.
and trade and AI. When you merge those industries together, you're actually generating something new. The
Yep.
same thing like drones. Drones and AI is going to be something newer, right?
yeah.
Like when you combine two separate technologies
Yeah.
and merge them together, it will
Yeah.
be like new advanced technology.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I just saw recently like AI robot that like knows everything that a person needs for their vitamins, supplements, and the robot will cook for you every single day. And they have companies like that already. They know what your body needs, what vitamins. Like I believe 10X Health is one of them. Like Grant Cardone created one. They do blood tests where they, you know, and genetic tests where they know what people need for their health. And imagine having a robot where it will order groceries for you, and then you don't have to go there, and it's just literally cooking everything. It saves you so much time, and then like, yeah, I think they already built it. That's gonna be really
Yeah.
cool to see.
I want that robot.
I would love to have that. Definitely, like robots are gonna take over. I think the Neuralink, that's gonna be crazy.
That's going to be crazy if they're going to be able to put it together.
Yeah, like through just the speed of thought,
Yeah.
like just by thinking you're texting.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
And memory chipset size went up really huge. Like they can, I think, save like 128 terabytes or something, even more, I think.
You know, they say like you get 2 million bits of information every day or something. And out of the 2 million, you can only process 126 bits. Look like even limitless where, you know, if we can access a bigger part of our brain,
Yeah.
oh, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I think we don't even use 10% of the brain.
Yeah, they don't.
8%?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even use 8% of the brain.
Yeah. Imagine we use a good chunk. That's going to be insane.
Jason, as always, it's great talking to you to talk about how to fundraise, where to allocate funds, the current economic situations when the investing is emerging, the fundraising, about Airbnb management, right? Like all of the things, like really interesting to talking to. It's really insightful. I really appreciate appreciate you coming here and having this and sharing your knowledge and your experience with us.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much, Sardor, for inviting me to this place. And it's my first time doing a podcast. And so it was a great experience for me. And I'm looking forward to doing more with you and building this relationship together. So Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. I'm Sardor Umrdinov, and I see you on the next video.